Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening for this ESEA Invite regular season matchup between eLevate and Madmen. I'm Gecks, and joining me this evening, once again, I have Marxist. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, not too bad. Excited to watch all this.
Yeah, this has been a pretty highly anticipated matchup here. A lot of people were giving Madmen the benefit of the doubt here, thinking they're going to come out on top to beat eLevate after they had a pretty rough match, a close one with Street Hoops. We'll get into that here in just a little bit, but we're excited for this one. We're ready to go. I was just in my little match for the evening. It came right over here. Sorry about the delays. They had to switch servers and all that good stuff, but we're here. We're ready to go, and we are on Snake Water this evening. So excited for a good matchup. Now, Marxist, why don't you go ahead here and give me some roster rundowns for both of these squads?
All right, so on the first hand, we got eLevate, the winners of the big 5-4 match the other day. Been doing really well the last two seasons as well. You've got on Scout, Shrugger, and Decimate, Shrugger being the new addition to the team. And then you've got some flip-flops at Soldier too, because you've got Alpha, who's more or less on Roamer, and Mela on Pocket. Although that seems to be something they switch around even still, replacing Rando, who is left. And then KBK reemerges to reclaim his invite medic position. And lastly, Badonsky, who's a pretty clear shot at one of the best demo men in TF2. And on the other side, taking them on, you've got the Madmen or the Meat Clowns, whichever you prefer to call them. I'm sure they don't mind either way. You've got on Scout, you have Seymour and You Must Mike. You Must Mike sort of being the brain of the team along with Blank. And on, if I'm not mistaken or misinformed, you will have Harblue playing Roamer and Blank playing Pocket, with Indust at Medic and the big Pharaoh playing Demo Man. Pharaoh and I go way, way, way back. And yeah, we've played together like 3 seasons or so throughout various points in TF2 times. So really happy to see him get as far as he has.
Yeah, I watched him a bit last season too, and he kind of came in. I think he came in for some team. I don't remember exactly what the situation was, but I always enjoyed watching him. So good, that, as you said, good to see him back on a invite team here and playing again. So we've got a good matchup for you guys. Hope you're all ready, just as we are this evening. As I said, we are on Snake Water, and the other night we were kind of alluding to it earlier. I was, but eLevate had a pretty tight match with Street Hoops, and I saw on the forums some people were throwing it out there, as I was saying, that they think Madmen are going to take this one in a similarly close game. Now, Marxist, what are your thoughts on all that? What do who do you think's going to take the cake tonight?
Well, I can't say as to how close it is because I haven't really seen the two teams interact. But Blank, we had a good talk with Blank last night. He was talking that good stuff.
Yeah.
And he I think if he's right and he's not just blowing things up, we might see Madmen take a pretty definitive lead at some point in this thing. But you never really know how it's all gonna go until they start mixing it up.
Yeah, it definitely could go either way here, being Snake Water, so who knows. But we are live, I believe, here. It looks like...
No,
not quite
no.
yet. Not yet quite. I thought everybody went back to spawn. That was just the round restarting. Sorry about that. But so we're still waiting for one more, I believe. But you were saying that you were just ringing for Madmen. Is that correct?
Yeah, Indust apparently has a computer that takes a long time to boot for whatever reason. I don't really know the whole story behind it, but yeah, I got to play around a little bit with the Madmen earlier. Not a whole ton because Indust's computer came back, so probably better to have him in there since he's the one playing in the match. But it should be a pretty good game. I expect we're gonna see they still have Madmen's sort of distinct style about them because they play a little bit of a different game than everybody else that sort of focuses on where Mike is. So it's still that way to a degree. So it'll be interesting to see how they play that out. And how Harblue is, because Harblue wasn't there yet either. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to see Harblue back on Roamer. He was playing the Roamer man when I was but a wee TF2 baby.
Yeah, I loved watching him go about, the different classes. It feels like the guy can play anything, so it's cool to see him on Roamer, though, definitely. But, as you were playing with them, I mean, only for a little bit, as you said, how do you think they were looking, Are they looking pretty good before in those scrims? I mean, I know they were down a couple of guys of their, that weren't in the regular lineup, but were they looking pretty sharp, or?
Well, I'd assume they'd always look pretty sharp. So it's a cohesive team. It's your usual setup. So I think it'll be okay. It'll be interesting to see how Seymour does, because Seymour has come and gone for various iterations of the Madmen team, and he is rather good at scout from time to time. So we'll see how he does there. I think Pharaoh, though, is a really good. I'll bolster my boy. I think Pharaoh's a pretty good fit for them, so we'll see how it actually all turns out. But Pharaoh's like a really technically minded demo, and I think that works for them.
Well, there you have it. We've got all 12 players in the server. We're readied up. We're just going live on 3 here, and we're going to head them on out to mid. So we have eLevate and Madmen here facing off on CP Snake Waters. So hope you guys are ready for this one. We're going to get things started here as we take a look into our demo heading into mid here, and see who gets the upper hand right away here on this fight as they're running their little legs in through Saw Room here. So here we start it. So far nobody getting too aggressive here. Blank's moved his way up on top, and Shrugger's gonna contest with him just a tad. No team deciding to get too aggressive yet, but Alpha now is going to bomb in. Takes down Indust right at the start of the mid. Great start for eLevate here. They get Blank as well. You Must Mike is going to go down. That's 3 for them. Harblue will exchange with a frag and then falling as well, and that is nearly a wipe for them. Seymour will go down, so a full wipe there. They're going to get the midpoint. KBK did stay alive as well, so they're going to have a full Uber to work in through second and last with. Pretty good start there for eLevate.
Yeah, that Alpha Bomb came through, and I guess they didn't really have the ability to really throw him away, so it devastated them. And now you have Harblue playing his special class, so he is on Spy headed under. And he's going to wrap all the way around and see if he can't take this Uber away from KBK. It's kind of a desperate move. He's moving in, though. Oh, KBK, he's got him! So there it goes.
Oh, he got him. Perfect play there from Harblue. They needed that one to even the playing field here, and that certainly did it for them, as that will set them up pretty good here. They're not yet pushing out. They still have a heavy up, but now Madmen does have a full Uber to work with here, and they did find Alpha, who was hiding inside of lobby, so they were able to get him. Now they're going to have a full Uber to push out here with 90% advantage. They already have Pharaoh, who's working his way in. Blank has fallen, though, but Pharaoh was able to get Mela, so now it's 2 down for eLevate. Alpha just getting that spawn, but they're getting time onto the point. Still haven't used that Uber yet, as eLevate has just backed themselves out, but working their way over to Saw. Harblue's gonna jump himself in there, getting some good damage out, and they use that Uber. Shrugger was in there, but he's gonna get taken out, so now they're pushing their way in through mid, seeing if they could potentially get something here, but not too much. More just bullying them out with that Uber, and they're gonna pick up the midpoint, but KBK is gonna have a pretty hefty advantage here to push back in with.
Yeah, he should be good to go soon. They're at 85 right now-ish. So we'll see. I don't know how Madmen are going to go about really handling this. I saw they had Harblue kind of running around the horn there, so they're coming right out. Madmen is pretty close to them, but they are backing out now because the Uber went ahead and got popped anyways. So that's a typical real Madmen thing. And Harblue does end up going down at the tail end of that, so I don't think we'll see a repush come right away.
Now they're gonna have to hold off here. They have about a 45% advantage to work with, so just holding over on the porch right now. Lots of spam, of course, as usual. Mela's getting aggressive. Got a lot of damage out on the Pharaoh. Not able to do so. Pharaoh actually running a loose cannon, but he's going to fall, and that's a great pick. Decimate will fall after the pick to Blank, but They still have a Uber advantage, 30%, but they can't really do much without their demo. It's going to be tough, so they're going to have to hold off. They actually get a force that comes through. I don't even know what happened there. Indus is like, what? He's running around with his crossbow. Harblue was able to get one, so now eLevate is actually down 2, but KBK is up on his Uber as well, so they're going to have to be careful here, Madmen. They're playing a bit close over in Saul. Looks like they're actually taking it down through the flank, but Harblue is there, playing very sneaky in the flank. Great play from him to force it early, so they've used that Uber, and Madmen backing themselves out. Badonsky bombing into the point. They were able to pick up 2 frags before getting out of there, or before Madmen got out of there, so they have that second point capped. And they're still down 2 players, Madmen is, and eLevate is starting their push in. Mail is in over by Shutter. KBK will follow in behind. Alpha's gonna bomb in from the left side as well. Sends Indus into the sky, not yet able to finish him off, but they get on the point, finish off the round, and eLevate will take that first one there. It's 1-0.
Yeah, pretty rough round there for Madmen. Harblue had some pretty big plays, but they just never really could get any traction. Roads were a little icy out there on Snakewater for Madmen today.
It appears so, and we're gonna go ahead and hop you into the second mid here. eLevate coming out early here, getting this 1-0 lead, but still plenty of game left for these guys to work with. So right now we have Madmen aggressively playing on their right side, or they had a lot up on the right side. Yuma's Mike's gonna start it off by getting Decimate, and KBK's taking a good bit of damage, but collects up on that health pack. Install, and here comes Blank for a bomb over on Mela. Gets a lot of damage out, but not able to convert on the frag, and Seymour able to get Alpha. A couple more going down for Madmen. It's a 3-on-3 fight here in this mid. They don't have a medic though. Indus went down, so they have KBK. eLevate does the heal advantage, but they're getting completely out-aggressed here. But they should have this Uber here shortly if they decide to contest the point with it, and I think they're going to go in with it right now. They have a lot of cap time on the point, but not yet able to finish it off. They got Pharaoh, they get Seymour as well, and they did use the Uber and didn't give up the point, and there's Harblue waiting inside of Saw. Very good play from him. Able to get Podonsky, who was extending, so he'll back off. But they did get the med pick, the demo pick. And now eLevate's push themselves up into Saw, but Uber's relatively even here, so we're just going to see a bit of a reset as eLevate caps this midpoint.
Yeah, that was a pretty good play there from Harblue, because it kept them from being able to roll through right away, because no Badonsky, really don't want to you don't want to go forward there. So actually fighting going down on the flank, a lot of players hurt. Alpha rotating over, Blank coming out, so Madmen are all up in there, but Mike is going to go down. However, there was like 100 health between 3 players combined on eLevate, but I guess they're just going to let that one go. And we'll see if a lack of Mike baits out the push.
They're electing to get aggressive into Saw here. Mike did get his spawn, so he'll be joining the fight here relatively soon. Lots of spamming going on, and Fair is just launching those Donger Man there right inside of Saul, but eLevate's got themselves pushed up, and yet no frags as of yet, no real push going on, but Indus gets dropped by Alpha, and that is a big play for them, as now eLevate's just going to be able to roll straight on through here. Alpha's all the way down into lower. They finally clean up on him, Blank does, but KBK is going to have a full Uber, and they might not even necessarily need to do too much with it. I mean, they only have Blank that's up right now. He's trying to delay the push just slightly as he's inside of the lobby there, but now they're going to go ahead and get on the point. Podonsky gets in on it. It's just Indus that's up, and nothing that Madmen can do about it. eLevate picking up another round there, 2-0.
Yep, they're letting the old window jump around destroy their medic, and it's hard to do, and it's incredibly frustrating when it happens to you. Yeah. So they've got to clean up their second defense to stop Alpha from getting in.
Yeah, big play for eLevate to get that drop there for Alpha. So let's take a look into the third mid here, see if Madmen can come out on top of this one. They need something to get themselves going. KBK already taking some damage here, not too much, but down to actually 76 health now as KBK, and Alpha is also quite hurt. He finally falls there to Yuma's Mike, and he gets the double donk. Pharaoh does onto Mela, so now it's a 3 down for eLevate, 3 down for Madmen. Harblue falls. Now a 2-on-2 fight. It's the scouts of Madmen versus KBK and Badonsky. This could be a decent push for them. They do have, or they're about to have Uber here, but It's just a lot of spamming of the two scouts. The Umas might getting very aggressive. Eats a pipe, though. Seymour's still there to cap the point. They're going to come in with it. Haven't used the Uber. Seymour's still in there. He's trying to play ring around the rosy with Badonsky on the point. He's getting the heals. There's not really too much Seymour can do about this. He's still in there, but he's got a whole force of eLevate players to get in on him. And Harblu's going to try and force that Uber out of KBK. Not going to happen. As now Madmen waiting for their respawns to get in here. And once again, eLevate, after a very close mid. These mids have been very close here, Marxist, but eLevate just sneaking that one out on top.
Yeah, eLevate's getting Endust, and there's not any sort of... There's not an available response for Madmen, and Pharaoh's very threatened, but he is going to snake his way out of there, and we'll see a push coming in soon, maybe, from eLevate. This could be big, because Endust could get his Uber here if they don't focus him down. He is extremely close. There he goes, he's got it. So this should be okay for Madmen now.
Yeah, they did get that counter pop off. 3 down right now for eLevate, KBK being one of them, so they'll be able to carry on their advantage out of last here with this, and they still have a guy back here. It's Shrugger was still in, but Seymour was able to clean up on that frag, and that gives Madmen some room to push out of last here and get on it. And Badonsky was actually hiding inside of lobby somewhere, but he'll get taken down, so they have about a 30% advantage here, Madmen does. They pick up on this second point. Blank and Endust are going to work their way into Saw room. Don't have to worry about any stickies either, as they got Badonsky, so they have some room to move here that the demo's down, and they're going to do so, but Blank gets absolutely denied on his jump. But Decimate goes down, and they still have about a 40% advantage here, Madmen does, so they're not really going to have to do too much to get this point. They do get into mid here. Umas might be able to get one. He gets Shrugger, but then falls to Mela down in the flanks, so they have the full Uber sitting inside of Saul. They've worked their way onto Porch, and they're just going to push on through here, and they're just bullying them out right now. Don't really have to do much to use it. Alpha going for the shot onto Indus, was not able to get it. Hardblue bombs down onto him, so they're going to pick up on second here. Both teams are going to have a full Uber for this last fight as well.
Yep, and they'll also have their man advantage, so I expect a push to come, because Madmen likes that aggression. Harblu was already in, actually, but he does manage to do the damage. Lots of red players, but Blank also going to go down, so they will now back up, and it'll be on eLevate to see what they're going to do.
They're working their way in the lobby. They've got it coming. Shrugger coming down from under, as well as Alpha. And the rest of the team electing to come out through lobby here. So the full-on push is coming here. Both teams popping off their Ubers here on second. Just kind of playing around. Seymour's going to extend in to try and get Mela here. Gets a lot of damage onto him. Quite can't finish it off. KBK, a lot of players from eLevate hurt right now. KBK and Mela. And now Badonsky is going to fall as well to You Must Mike. So they could move on in off of this, as Hardblue is going to go down as well. So kind of resetting. They do... they're going to be even on these Ubers here, and Blank is going to decide to jump in and get some damage out onto Decimate, but Alpha's going to come in and clean up on that, and a lot of players from Madmen down. It's a 3-on-3, actually, so they're going to keep this going. They're pretty hurt on the left side, though, Madmen is, so they're going to back off and kind of reset on second here, so it looks like that's what we're going to be seeing for the time being, anyway.
Yeah, they gave it a go, but the death of Harblu and the death of Blank were just like the time. Those were good thoughts, but the timing was off by like five little milliseconds on the other side. So their team just was a little too slow to make those moves work out the way that they needed to.
Both teams have their full Uber up, and Hardblue was in somewhere and ended up falling. Pharaoh's still electing to stay on the loose cannon as well, though. Do you like that decision from him?
That's the thing that he does now, and it's either or. I myself think pipes are probably a little bit better, but the throwing people around aspect of the cannonballs can really screw up how a team tries to do things. But actually, we've got Harblue's back on his sneaky sneaks,
yep.
And he is headed in lower.
And Shrugger's up on NG. He's got a level 3 sitting here behind the house, and Alpha's up, and they spotted Hardblue there pretty quickly as he came out. But Alpha's up on Pyro. They have Shrugger on NG and Decimate on Sniper, so lots of off-classing here Madmen eLevate does to defend last here, and You also need to be careful. The trap's also sitting inside of lobby here, right above the shutter side door there, so just kind of resetting for the time being. Decimate's playing on this left side here, Madmen's left side, with the sniper. And Alpha's actually, Blank's gonna get caught out in lobby, gets taken out by Alpha, who actually makes use of that, that long ago nerfed, extinguisher. He gets some nice little back crit there, and it's gonna be Blank down, and Madmen's just kind of sitting out on second for the time being. Elevate's work themselves into lobby just a tad bit, but they're going to back off here, so just kind of stalemate for the time being. Both teams up on that full Uber, though.
Yeah, I think Blank was kind of on a scouting mission, and he got caught by a pyro and a little bit left behind. But, yeah, we do have three utils from Elevate, so the challenge is kind of on them. It looks like Seymour and Harblue are going to do their suicide, so Harblue gets in really deep for there being a level 3 gun, but Seymour will find that, so we'll see what they choose to do. I know the Blank Man and the Mike Man aren't huge fans of off-classing, so we'll see what they opt to do.
Looks like they've taken Alpha out with the pyro all the way out to second here. Here comes a bomb from Mela, gets a rocket in Indus. Indus still, he milked it as long as he could, but they got the force out, which is exactly what they needed from Elevate's end anyway, so they're going to have a full Uber to push out with here, kind of starting to get off of, well, they're still staying on their off classes for the time being. I'd imagine they're going to change here shortly. Shrugger's heading back to spawn here. He's going to go ahead, switch on over to Scout. They're getting off all their utils here and going to get ready to take this Uber on out. Seymour is up into lobby, but he's going to have to back off here. Not really too much that he can do with this. Mike was up there as well, but Harblue once again playing sneaky. He's all the way down in Africa here. Oh, Alpha's looking for him. He sees him, and they're just going to exchange their numbers here, but nobody's going on the date, so now they're both just going to back themselves out here. Mike falls to Mela, and the battle's happening on second here. Not all that many frags. Madmen's playing very passively. Pharaoh goes down, though, stayed in a bit too much, and Harblue's going to get behind them right now, and he's in a bit of trouble as well. He's got two scouts pushing him, not going to happen for him. He's going to fall. Both teams do have this full Uber, though, and Elevate's going to pick up that second point back and see if they decide to push here. Madmen is down 2 players at the moment, just getting a respawn now, so it looks like Alpha and KBK are starting to come out of Saul. They had Decimate over on the flank who was getting some damage out, but Alpha bombs onto the point. I think he's going to fall here. Yes, he does. Seymour cleans up on that, but he did get the force out of Indust. So once again, Elevate going in, getting the force, and then being able to push with the full Uber.
Yeah, that was a big play there from Alpha. KBK is kind of like the other night. KBK is having a really good time of making these pushes happen without having to pop. And I also think Indust, before he was getting challenged by Alpha so much, saw a lot of red and just assumed that was going to be part of the push, and that's probably what played into his popping. But now we're going to see a big Elevate push come really heavily out of Saw Room, and the Madmen are going to have to bail out.
Ooh, Indus very hurt down at lower right now, barely keeps himself alive as well. They were able to clean up on a couple of frags. Alpha and Shrugger have gone down, so it's 2 down on each side here, but Pharaoh being one of them for Madmen right now, which is not ideal, but he'll have time, presumably, to get back up here once the push begins. And they're actually, Madmen's just deciding to go on in with it. They have the Uber right now. Elevate not quite up on it, so they're going to take the point back, it looks like, unless they decide to contest it. It's going to be tight. They are getting in. They pop their Uber. They've stopped the point, but Madmen is going to exchange on theirs as well. Mela flying around over on Catwalk over there, and he's going to get in behind them. And they also have Alpha behind them as well, so Mike is able to get Mela there, and Elevate's going to continue their push into mid here. They have 3 players down. Mike, Seymour, oh, Harblue is going to fall as well. Seymour just getting his spawn. Indust was able to get an arrow onto Alpha, but Indust inside of there gets 1 arrow, gets a saw as well, still going for Badonsky. They're having a bit of a fight here, missing his pipes. It's another arrow somewhat, but now Indus is going to get cleaned up here by Decimate, and things not looking too hot for Madmen here on this last. They have Seymour, who tried to get a sentry up as well, but that will get broken up. But Elevate actually lost 3 players. Harblue cleaning up nicely on the damage here. able to get Badonsky and Decimate, so that will delay the push of eLevate here. They're going to have to back off. Madmen has all of their respawns. They're up and ready to go here. And KBK was also taken down in that fight as well, but nobody's sticking with Indust here to let them heal them and build up that Uber, but finally they're able to push themselves out here, getting this second point back.
Yeah, Blank was all the way out in cheese well before anybody else was, so he knew what he wanted to do for sure. And now we go, Mela's trapped. Yeah, there we go. So that's one thing Madmen will be very effective at, but Seymour gets domed by Decimate. So at least, you know, sending out the scout first, you find out that they have a sniper.
yeah, better a scout than a demo or a med, so anyway, we see them pushed them towards Saul here. eLevate's playing very, very passively all the way back on their side of mid, but Alpha's now kind of worked his way up into Saul for the time being. Both teams are going to have the full Uber here, and Decimate is still up on Sniper. Hardblue's actually on Spy, so we'll see if he can make the play once again. At some point, you would almost have to expect them to expect it. Hardblue's right there. They were ready for him. They took him down easy peasy. So now the Uber has been forced as well out of Indus to save Blank. Or no, actually Indus just got forced in general. I'm not sure where the force came from. I was kind of had my eyes on the Hardblue cam, but that is going to leave eLevate once again to a full Uber to push on through here, and they've just come straight into second point here. Decimate getting the SMG kill onto You Must Mike, and there's the old loose cannon worked out there to deny one of eLevate's soldiers that was extending forward. So now just Uber's kind of resetting here. They do have a slight advantage, but not really anything they can work with. Madmen does, but Decimate's still up on Sniper, though. Have to be careful. He's playing in the left side lobby, and he's just kind of poking around for some frags, but we're just going to see the reset here, pretty much waiting on the Decimate man here to get the frag and start off and initiate this push here into last.
Yep, it'll just be a waiting game, or Madmen will get several kills at some point. Because they do like to play aggressively. The bomb is in from Alpha, but he's gonna die. And KBK goes down to a flanking You Must Mike.
There it is, that aggressiveness that goes through, and they just demolish eLevate inside of lobby. Badonsky could be going down here as well. He's coming on through, and he will go down as well. So great work there from Madmen to push on out there. So now it's going to be 2 down for Madmen. They get their respawns. eLevate is down 1, and Madmen has pushed themselves all the way through. They had that Uber, so they're going to pop that off inside of mid, pick up on a couple of more frags here, and they should be able to get this midpoint back. They're 3 down, eLevate is, and they're just going to keep on moving through here. Blank's all the way up into Saw already with Indust, and they're out onto Porch, and Blank is going to go ahead bomb across here, and slowly working their way onto second, so they should be able to pick this one up. eLevate was slightly 20% advantage or so, probably not enough for them to really do anything with, so we're just going to kind of see the reset here until the picks come through. Seymour does go down to some sticks from Badonsky, though, and Badonsky continuing to get aggressive, and Shrugger will try to follow up on his damage, and he was able to get Varblue in the process, so now 2 players down from Madmen, though. Decimate was able to get one, and Alpha came up on Spy to get Indust with the revolver, and Shrugger gets Pharaoh as well, so now Madmen getting pushed back on that one, and Alpha's going for more on the Blank here, and Shrugger will clean up on the damage that he gave him, but there it is, Madmen getting pushed out there, and a pretty good pushback from eLevate.
Alpha was actually Spy during the Madmen mid push, and just sat there and watched it the whole time, patiently waiting, and then followed them out, watched them cap second, and then killed Indus.
Well,
He sat there for a solid 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh my god. I didn't even notice it. I wouldn't expect it either. It's Alpha's a crazy guy, but man, here it is. eLevate trying to push their way into second. They lost Mela and Decimate. They're still sitting. The combo is by Saw, but they're gonna have to go ahead back off a bit. Ubers are even, and I think Alpha's still Spy here. Yep, he is still going. They gotta be wary of him. I mean, he's sitting down in the flank. He's working his way forward. He might have the opportunity here on Indus. I think they have spotted him. Indus sees him, gets the Saw off on him, and will take him out that has given him actually a 20% advantage as well if they can really do too much with it. I don't think so. Harblue goes down. Decimate will fall as well. They take him into Soul. Oh, he could not save You Must Mike. That was a crucial miss there. Both teams popping off their Uber. They're just going to have to use the remaining part of this Uber to try and get out here. Indus misses the surf, gets the second surf though, taking the shotguns, and KBK getting the arrow onto Indus. So now that is some good stuff from eLevate there, and they're gonna save the midpoint, and gonna have to have a pretty good defense here. A nice pick onto KBK is in order. Madmen needs it.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anybody really in position to get it done either. There's a blank running around underneath, but I don't think he's going to be too capable of doing stuff. Harblue will get Decimate, but I don't know. So we should see, the 30% Uber advantage probably pile in here. I assume Decimate's going to come back as a scout, but we'll see if they try and give it that little extra oomph. No, apparently not. So we should just see them go once they're all set and ready. They also get a pick, so not really going to have a better time if you're eLevate.
Yeah, they're on their way in here. They do have Seymour up on heavy, but the Uber has been popped out of shutter side. Nobody's getting on the cap quite yet. Seymour goes down, Indust as well. It's just Harblue left. It's not going to be able to do anything for Madmen there. Once again, eLevate coming through, taking this first half here, 3-0.
Yeah, indeed. The pocket security around KBK is really solid right now. I mean, yeah, there was the Harblue stab, but in general, KBK just isn't really getting that much pressure during transition fights, and that's the big difference, because Endust is getting killed when they're holding, and that's not Endust's fault. And Endust is getting killed when they're moving in transition, and then there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah, he's either getting killed or he's getting, when they're kind of in the stalemate period, he's the first guy to get forced. He's getting forced every time, and then that just leaves eLevate with the full Uber to come on through. And it's, it happens. It seems to be like through every kind of choke area. They'll push them back a bit, and then the same thing happens, and they just slowly work their way through. And eLevate did a very slow coast-to-coast a couple of times on that. It was just, just as you were saying, the security around KBK is very strong, and Indus security not so much. So that's something for Madmen to definitely think about here and be aware of moving into the second half if they want any chance of moving forward in this, because that is definitely, as you said, one of the crucial things that is keeping Madmen back right now in this game. I mean, eLevate getting a pretty hefty 3-0 lead here on that first half, so Madmen's got to go back to the drawing board here. I mean, besides that, is there anything else that Madmen can do to get themselves back in this one here? Or?
Well, I was trying to find the stats, and I am, for some reason, ESEA wants me to look at CSGO. But the other thing that's happening a lot on mids is that they're both playing very passive reactive mids, and Alpha and Decimate are going in on an aggressive play to Endust every mid. So Alpha will bomb in, and during the ensuing chaos, Endust will be killed. And KBK is usually really far back when that happens, so it basically it hamstrings Madmen, because now they don't have heals, and they have to get all these kills out on the point very quickly. And that's happened twice now, the last two mids, where you have KBK sitting with Uber, and they just come in and take mid away from them. So they need to fix that. But it looks like we're actually live already.
Yeah, we're back into it here. Madmen's got to get something rolling here on this one, or they're going to be seeing a pretty quick ending here. So, see, we'll take you into this mid here. eLevate up 3-0 on Madmen right here on Snake Water. Mela playing around the corner on the top roof here, waiting to possibly bomb in here, but as you were saying, it's just these passive reactive mids here. Blank tries to go for a bomb, he gets denied, he's extremely hurt, and Alpha could clean up on him here. Indus able to get the heals back onto him though, so Shrugger and Alpha have gone down so far here on this mid. Harblue will fall finally, and now Blank's still very hurt behind them, but eLevate is down 3 players right now. They were still kind of staying in it here. and Decimate, he was taken down a while ago there, but eLevate got themselves out, and there we go. Finally, Madmen getting a mid-win there.
Yeah, they locked Alpha out, and that worked pretty good in the early phase of the mid, so their little 1-for-2 play couldn't work. But now Pharaoh's in pretty big trouble. Indus is going to play the Farmer Brown for a little bit because Mela didn't have any rockets. And it turns out for the best because now the Madmen basically got an Uber Force in exchange for blank. And we should see it come in pretty soon. Harblue has played Pocket as well, so I'm sure he knows what he's doing here. And he is getting into them.
And there they go. He's sending himself on through. Alpha was up on Sniper. Nothing he could do there. Not exactly the best. He had the right idea, but Madmen just came through with that Uber a bit soon for him to do anything about it. So now eLevate only has 3 players up. They have that second point, and now they're in on last. Madmen as they're getting the push on through. Seymour gets KBK, and now they're picking up on the other frags as well. It's just Mela who comes in, but there it is. Finally, Madmen gets the round. They're going to put themselves on the board. A 3-1 game here. eLevate still in the lead a bit, but that was definitely something that Madmen needed.
Yeah, they still lost Indus during the push, but the Uber into second, and we have a pause. Or my internet died.
Nope, I think that is. I think we do have pause.
Well, I'll pontificate for a little bit. So they still lost Indust in that push, but the Uber and the sort of crush that came in behind him was so good that it didn't really matter if he lived or died. There weren't enough players from eLevate left to defend the point, so pretty good little round there from him.
Yeah, hopefully that can get a bit of momentum going further on here. And there was a point that I wanted to bring up early, like before halftime ended, but there was stuff with the spy plays from Harblue. Is there a certain point that, and I don't know if Dashner has the replay of him getting the drop. He did get the one drop the one time, but is there at a certain point where you just stop trying to go spy? Because it seemed like they were pretty aware of it from then on, after, he kept doing it time and time again.
Well, the second spy play from Harblue was actually just... If you played Spy in a pub, you've had this experience where Harblue had the stab. Like, he surely saw that animation where the knife goes to, like, kill mode. And then for whatever unknown reason, KBK changed the way he was walking just all of a sudden. And Harblue slashed, missed, and ended up in front of KBK. So, like, there was no... It was just, it was like he got matadored by KBK at the exact second when Harblue pushed mouse 1 or, whatever he uses for his attack and missed.
Yeah, well, I guess that was a pretty unfortunate play in the end there. I didn't quite have the cam on him, so I didn't see that part of it. But here we go. We're back into mid anyway. The pause is over. See if Madmen can keep that momentum rolling that they just had there on that last round. So once again, pretty passive at the start of this mid. KBK with a wonderful surf, but ends up dying from Harblue at the end of that. And Pharaoh gets a little loose cannon shot into Badonsky. So now it's going to be 2 down on each side. Make that 3 down for eLevate, though, as they've lost KBK, Badonsky, and Shrugger so far on this mid, and only Harblue and You Must Mike. Now Decimate has gone down, and Pharaoh cleans up on Mela as well, so it's just Alpha left here on eLevate, who's hiding inside of Saw right now, seeing if he can get a little sneaky play onto Indust here as they come in. But yeah, Blank will be ready for it. He should come out on the better end of this fight. Actually, it's tight, but there it is. Alpha finally going down. Pharaoh will clean up on him. So now a full Uber advantage for Madmen to push out here. I know eLevate would like to force them early if possible and not have to worry about it, but they're going to go up in through window to avoid that. So now it should be an easy second take here. They're still going to have some advantage to work into last with, possibly another quick Madmen win here on this round.
Yeah, they're headed in lower now. It's sort of indicative of what Madmen like to do. They weren't going to pop that just out of course. The team is coming in. They're pretty united here. They may have to deal with the Shrugger Heavy, but they are currently attempting to run through the tape, and a lot of hurt eLevate. But the Uber comes out from KBK. And Shrugger is still alive, so they may be able to translate that into a successful defense. Indust is fully committed, and Seymour goes down. So yeah, the Uber came out from KBK, and the Shrugger Heavy just kind of dealt with everyone.
Yeah, it ended up working out for him. Very tight, but luckily Horriblue stayed in for a bit there on that and was able to pick up that frag on the KBK, though. So that's going to leave Indust with about a 35% advantage here, 40%. So good pick from Horriblue to be able to get KBK at the end of that fight. And Alpha goes down inside of lobby from Rocket from Blank. So I mean, it's kind of a reset, but Madmen should have a pretty decent shot at getting in here. They do. eLevate has Decimate up on Sniper and Shrugger on NG once again, so a bit of off-classing to deal with here. Madmen will have to deal with, but they could get a nice round here. They're almost up on that Uber. 5% away, getting ready to go in. I heard a Pyro as well. Alpha is up on Pyro, so they take it in up their drop down. They're getting their way on in here. It's only a level 2 gun, and they're going to be able to take that out. And now they're getting time on the point. Horriblue's there. They're coming out of their right side. Oh, Madman getting rocked on this last right here. It's just Pharaoh up. It's a 1-on-3. I don't think he can do much here. He's on fire as well, and the scouts just cleaned up on all that damage there for eLevate, and they will be able to get right back out here, getting that wipe onto Madmen, pick up on the second point.
Yeah, Madmen got really focused on the back left side because that's where KBK rotated to, but then the rest of eLevate kind of just came out from the other side and killed them. So, and now we're going to lose Horriblue as well into the bomb, but they get Badonsky, so the aggression should keep coming.
We see them, they're all the way up on second, they're getting the time on it. Mike's going at it with Mela, but Mela gets the better end of the fight, and Blank is trying to go at Decimate here. And Mela is getting his way, and they do get the cap, and Mela just extends a bit too far and goes down, and eLevate actually down 3 players at the moment. They are getting some spawns here relatively soon. They're going to get Alpha, and Madmen kind of peeking their way in here, as Blank is able to get Shrugger, who was pretty hurt as well as he was sitting down in lower, but Alpha up, once again up on Pyro, I believe. It was somebody. The Uber does get popped off, though, and eLevate not quite up on theirs yet. They do get the time down on it. Oh, they gotta get KBK. He's 1% away. They do get it. Madmen ends up getting the cap. KBK was 1% away from getting that Uber. That was a crucial miss on just 1% away. Could have saved it, but Madmen capitalizes, picking up the round 2 on the second half here. Marxist, it's 3-2.
Yeah, they got that 10% luck factor on their side for that particular round. But Madmen mids are a lot better now, so we'll see how this one goes.
They've certainly adjusted from the first half here, doing much better, and right away Horriblue gets the first pick onto Decimate, and eLevate was trying to get a bit aggressive here, but KBK is going to go down Indus with a good surf down in the lower, but Mela's going to try and clean up on it. Oh, what a save from Pharaoh, I believe it was. Somebody saved Indus just barely, but he ends up going down anyway. Alpha was able to get him, and eLevate coming back with a good push here to try and come out on top of this mid-fight, but not quite able to, as Shrugger will go down to Seymour, and it was just Decimate, who may have even just gotten his spawn. So Horriblue is also all the way around here. He's going in for KBK. He got a good rocket off on him, but Mela was able to finish him off. Just close, but no cigar there. But anyway, Madmen does get that mid-cap, and they're going to be able to kind of reset here in mid and get ready for a push.
Yeah, that last mid Alpha had a pretty good play to keep himself alive and come out on the other side, but the push is coming in, so I should probably talk about that instead. And they have already got Mela. Madmen kind of hanging around here, seeing what they can see. Badonsky's going to go down first, but Mike's going to get picked, and that'll be 3 down for eLevate. They're still kind of seeing what they can do. Gonna go ahead and pop that Uber off, and the Madmen are gonna fall away for now because they have a response Uber. Indus will save Blank with it, and now they are coming out. KBK is pretty exposed if they can get to him, but no, from behind is Shrugger, and that will be the end of Pharaoh.
Luckily, they were able to clean up on him before he could really get much onto Indus there, but KBK was able to keep himself alive there. So Pharaoh down, Shrugger's the only player down for eLevate right now. They actually have a spy. Alpha's up on the spy right now. He's going in for Indus. Oh my goodness, he's healing Indus. Or healing Alpha, but he did get spotted. He's going to get blasted away. He actually was kept alive there, but Indus has fallen in the end there, and Alpha finally gets cleaned up on. Harblue going in for KBK, but able to keep himself alive there just barely. Pharaoh trying to back out. Mela coming in for some pickaxes. Oh, almost got Pharaoh with it, but he falls anyway in the end. Decimate there to clean up on the damage. And there'll be 3 players down for Madmen, so they're going to have to reset here. eLevate is going to have a pretty nice Uber advantage as well, about 60% to push in towards second with.
Yeah, part of Indus' problem is that he's relatively new to this team, so he doesn't have a good sense of where people are going to be, so when that scout is like dancing around him like, hey, heal me, then, you know, it's not abnormal behavior, but the spy is coming.
Oh, we got him again! Harblue dropping KBK for the second time in this game here. And that is huge for them to be able to hold off this push. They might be able to get the cap. They do cap it, Shrugger does, but I mean, Madmen is going to have a full Uber to push back out here with, and Harblue once again has made the massive play to hold off eLevate by getting that drop onto KBK, and now we're going to see Madmen start to work their way out here. They do have that Uber. Shrugger was in a bit, but he's going to have to back himself off, as now Indus working himself forward with Blank. And they're going to get themselves into Saw right here. eLevate knows they're a bit screwed right now. They're backing themselves off. They're playing very passively inside of mid at the moment. And Madmen is just going to keep trucking on through. There are sticks all over lower right now. Indus cannot drop down there. Luckily he doesn't. And they're just going to keep on bullying them out here. Not really much eLevate can do. KBK's down in lower with the rest of the combo. And Harblue did fall there to a pipe from Podonsky during that little encounter in mid there. But Alpha's actually up on Spy once again. And Shrugger hasn't seen him. Oh, goodness. Alpha there on Spy. He's sitting right back. He's taking his time. Could we see the counter drop? Right back.
Alpha's doing exactly what he did last time. Just sitting right here by this box watching. I think eLevate will actually push before. But no. He's doing it.
Oh, no! He just wasn't quite able to get it. Oh, that would have been incredible if we could have seen it right back. And now Harblue is on Spy again. He's just going in for another one. Both teams have the full Uber. If he gets another drop, I am just going to cry, I think. He's going down into Africa. He's going to wrap around and see what he can do. There is a bit of a fight going on in Saul here. Just a lot of spam going through, but Harblue's wrapped all the way around in lobby. Shrugger hasn't seen anything. Alpha is working his way and got a stab on the KBK. Wasn't able to drop him, though. I'm not sure if he just turned at the last second again like he did before, but seemed to have a pretty decent shot at him there, but just not quite able to convert on it. So now eLevate could potentially have a bit of room to work through if they want, but both teams have the full Uber. Looks like they're deciding to come out of lower here. KBK's already taken a bit of damage. They do force Indus on that Uber, and the counter pop comes through from KBK as well. So now we're just paused in mid, unless that's just me.
Yeah, we are paused. Well, all I can say is, as a medic main, after this game, Indus and KBK are going to have a little bit of PTSD. And because, like, one spy play, okay, whatever, you know, kill me once with the spy. Shame on you.
Yeah, I mean, that's like one of your worst. And I mean, you never expect it, because I'm a medic main as well, and I never expect somebody to go spy this many times in one game. I mean, this is crazy. We have 2 drops from Harblue. I mean, for a period there was at least one team was running spy for at least like 5 minutes or so there. It was crazy. You know, have you ever seen somebody run spy this many times, Marxist? You've been around for a while, but I certainly haven't seen it in my small amount of time within the community.
It's fairly rare when it happens. We didn't really see too much of the spy the other night out of Alpha either. He did it like once. So I think this is sort of a competition between him and Harblue at this point, because I mean, they're there. It's not completely malfunctioning, and it's hard to get forces on this map sometimes as roamer. I would say, if anything, Alpha's the one that probably ought to just go back to the old playbook, because they were doing pretty good with just that.
Yeah, and something, I mean, Madmen has turned it around, but not here on this fight, as we are unpaused, and they just get demolished in mid right here, completely wiped to be exact. So luckily KBK did fall during the fight there, so that kind of gives them a chance to breathe just a bit, but they're still waiting on their spawns. They do get them now, and they're going to be able to defend this last here. And we'll see if eLevate decides to get aggressive on in there. Alpha has worked his way into lobbies, just kind of waiting over at Shutter, seeing if somebody gets a bit happy, and a little too happy from Madmen here. So he's just going to camp himself inside of lobby, and the sticks are coming through from Badonsky. Over from the left side there, and the back cap is going on Alpha. That's what he was waiting for. Can they stop it in time? Oh, they get in just barely. You must Mike finishes him off. You had the whole cavalry coming at you there. Alpha was probably pooping himself a little bit seeing this army of men flying at him. But he had one goal, just couldn't quite get it, and narrowly escaping that one there. Madmen did, but now it's just kind of resetting. They do have a slight advantage, Madmen, but I don't think it's really anything for them to kind of push out with. It's only 30%. They have a heavy up. You must Mike is on that. No other off-classing to speak of, though, but once again, Alpha is on Spy, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that man, as he's going to try and get the old drop onto Indust here.
Yeah, Alpha's sneaking around. He's going to hide in this little spot here. I think he'll probably be okay here because Blank tends to cover the right side. Yeah, so we'll see. This is going to be pretty difficult for Alpha because of the way that Madmen hold last on this map is a little different than normal. And so Indust is pretty... The play is designed so that Indust cannot be killed by a spy. So we'll see.
Well, at least they have that on lock here. I mean, you see Alpha's just really waiting for this opportunity. I mean, he's got guys all around him, though. Very good coverage on all ends for him, so it's going to be pretty tough for them to get in here. I mean, they literally just have a wall around Indust right now. So if Alpha is able to get in and do something, then shame on Madmen. But right now, he could potentially get the opportunity here. He's kind of... I mean, Seymour is watching right over top of him, though. He's got his eyes aimed on Indust's back, so... just kind of waiting for the pick here. Madmen must suspect something, that they've got Alpha here. Yeah, he was spotted, taken down easy, but eLevate's going to decide to get a bit aggressive with that. Inside of lobby, and Harblu's actually going to bomb in. He's able to get Mela before falling to Badonsky, but the pick is real there. They get two players. Alpha and Mela are both down, but Madmen does have an NG up still. And they did get somebody off of heavy, but they still have You Must Mike sitting back there for insurance with his sentry up. So it's just kind of a reset here at this point, waiting for both teams to get the players back up. Alpha this time electing to go on Sniper, seeing if he can get a pick that way. Wasn't able to do much with Spy, so he's going to try his hand at sniping here, see what kind of picks he can get to initiate this next push.
Yep, that was it was a pretty good play from Harblu as well. Harblu's having a really good game. Oh, there he goes. Gonna get Blank and Harb are gonna combine to kill Shrugger and Lower. So we'll see if we can get some kind of a counter-suicide going, maybe. Alpha in real deep. That's pretty much the only way you can get to the medic there with the sniper when they play like this. So, it's he missed his one chance. Harblu going in back, too. Mike is gonna go down, but Harblu's basically at mid, gonna get super flanked.
Yeah, and they've got KBK inside a lobby right now. He's got to be careful. Lots of spam coming through, but haven't done too much with it. Two players down for Madmen here, so that is going to initiate the push. Indus is going to go Farmer Brown here. Almost ate the air shot, but he did pop it off just in time, and the sentry has gone down, but Pharaoh was able to get Decimate, so eLevate. We'll see if they decide to repush here. Alpha was able to get Pharaoh, so that's a huge pick for them. eLevate's two players down, Madmen only one, but a lot of players from eLevate hurt and dying all over the place. It's a massacre. KBK very hurt. Does pick up on some health, but he's down and lower. Will fall to You Must Mike there. And Indus getting the saw onto Mela, and that's going to help out as far as advantages go. So now they've gotten themselves back out. They're going to cap that second point and take the combo in through lower there. And they have Decimate playing sneaky outside of Saw, but I don't know if he's really going to be able to pick up on too much here. Yeah, Seymour has spotted him. Farrah's going to get the stick onto him to finish him off. And they're going to be able to pick up on this midpoint here and have a 60% advantage to work with.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see a push come out pretty quick, too. But they're being contested pretty heavily by eLevate, so nice little poke in there from them to see if they could scare anybody.
And we got the man back up on Spy. Oh, he was rocket jumping, Hardloo was. I don't know if he saw a little something. He was just rocket jumping through. Kind of luckily landed one on Alpha as he was doing so, so they have a pick here, and they have still a 40% advantage. They might elect to go on and take this through while somebody is capping. They're slowly working their way in left side here. Blank has fallen, though, and that's a crucial pick for Madmen there, and they don't really have too much they can work with anymore here. As Mike is going to fall as well, so 2 players down from Madmen. Not ideal here, and Shrugger's going to get in, get some damage off onto Indust, and here comes the Alpha Bomb coming through. The Uber is forced there. He's going to have to flash a lot of guys. They do have an Uber as well. eLevate does, so they're going to pop that off, and Madmen needs to get themselves out here, try and keep Indust alive. I don't think they're aggressing too heavily down there. Madmen's actually keeping up the pressures. They had gotten a few picks. One of the spawns coming through, which was Shrugger, but here comes Madmen. The counter push coming straight on through. There's still 2 players down, eLevate is. They're going to get 1 spawn in just 3 seconds here, but Madmen doing a good job on the counter push, and Hardblue's going to go ahead and poke at the point a little bit, and eLevate's going to push themselves back out, but Madmen down 3 players right now, and Indus is very hurt. They need to back up before they bleed off anymore. Just get themselves out of here, keep Indust alive, and that's what they are going to do. But eLevate will be able to come back out here and pick up second.
Yeah, Indust actually dropped out to try and assist Pharaoh. I like that there. So we're going to see an even Z's situation, maybe, unless eLevate's aware that their previous Uber timing gave them an advantage. I don't think they do. So, but they're going to trade Mike and Mela, so we'll see. Hardblue actually getting some action over here in the saw, too.
So we'll see. Blank's actually in right now inside. He's going to get Alpha, but then falls. He's very aggressive inside of Saul here, but Decimate has some room to work down and lower. They have nobody down in the flank at the moment. Hardblue is in, Badonsky is able to clean up on that. So 2 players down at the moment for Madmen. They do need to be careful. Only Alpha down for eLevate. And now eLevate's starting to work their way on out of Saul here, slowly but surely. Mela getting ready for it. He's getting ready to jump across point. Madmen's not going to use the Uber to try and save it here. It's, oh no, he does get forced there, Indus does. Now KBK with the counter pop. Mike coming through, wreaking a bit of havoc on Decimate there, but Indus is going to have to back up with Pharaoh. I think Pharaoh's going to fall here. He does. Indus back on second with Seymour. And Hardblue is in, though. He's going to get one onto Badonsky. He's still alive. Eats the rocket right at the end there. So eLevate is going to get this midpoint here, but they are down a lot of guys right now. And here comes the Alpha Bomb. He is down and lower. He's down there. Oh, goodness. Indus fell. He falls to a rocket from Mela. Not good for Madmen here, as KBK is going to have a pretty hefty advantage. They need to get something onto him. Blank is going for it. Got so much damage. Seymour needs to clean up on the damage from the KBK. He does, trying to get Decimate. Not able to, but here comes Mike, the scout from Madmen, wreaking havoc in the ranks of eLevate, and the bomb! Oh, man. What a play there from Madmen to be able to push back out. Indus falls. They just put everything right back on it, lay it on them, and good stuff from them. And that'll give them a bit of breathing room here to push back into mid.
Yeah, poor Hardblue, though, got killed in the sticky trap as he was trying to escape. So that's probably going to slow things down quite a bit. You want that soldier damage here, yeah, so they're going to back out. Things looked really bad for Madmen there. They had a really weird Uber, and then they ended up losing Indust in the ensuing chaos, and basically the whole team. But then they brought it back together, so here we are in basically the same spot we were just a little bit ago.
Yeah, back to square one, as they say, so just going to be kind of waiting things out here. Nobody electing to go spy here, surprisingly, because we're just kind of waiting her out on second here. They do have Uber, Madmen does. eLevate not quite up on it yet. They're still 15% behind. KBK, you can see KBK doesn't want to get backstabbed here. He was playing in the corner on the little stairs there in mid, so nobody could backstab him. I mean, that's just how much of an impact spies have been on this game so far. I mean, even just the threat of them. So we see them. Hardblue extends a bit, does fall, but they exchange. There's Alpha is going to go down as well. So both teams losing a player there, both losing their roamer, and they're starting to get aggressive. Mela's going to fall as well, though, so that's going to leave it for eLevate to have to back off, losing the pocket. And It's kind of still waiting on it, though, Madmen is. They're slowly actually starting to push in through lower here. They pop that Uber off onto Blank as he's going to take it on in. Gets a lot off onto Badonsky. Not quite able to kill him. They haven't forced this Uber out of him yet. Finally do, trying to delay for the spawns to come in, and they've done well on that as they popped it, pushed them back out. But You Must Mike is all the way behind them right now, as he is just sitting on their second point, possibly trying to do something. And Harblue's going to get himself back there as well, so they've got two guys behind him. You Must Mike is going up in through Kitchen. I think he was spotted by Alpha there, but Madmen are going to be able to pick up on this. Alpha tried to come up in through Kitchen. He falls to Seymour, so Madmen, a good counter push there after that Uber fight, and they pick up mid, and only a 10% advantage, not too much for them to work with, but Madmen certainly here, Marxist, has picked it up in the second half.
Yeah, it was a classic Madmen play there with Mike coming through in the lead, and then ended up getting behind. Harblu had already done it, so that just made it even worse for eLevate when it all came to. They had to pull way out because that was just the end of them.
The scoreline is 3-2 here. eLevate still has the one-round lead. Blank gets in but falls, and Mela going to eat a little cannonball there, and Alpha's going to go down as well, so eLevate down 2 players here. Madmen needs a round. I'm not sure exactly what we're looking at as far as time being left, but I have to imagine there isn't a whole lot of time, unless my time tracker isn't, my time telling isn't too good, but I don't have an exact time on it, but I can't imagine that they have a whole lot. But eLevate right now does have an Uber advantage. Harblu is inside of Saul here, but he's not able to do too much, so they're down 40%, but eLevate not really doing anything with it. They're just still sitting back, finally slowly working their way through here, in through Saul, but the sticks are going to come through, and they force early, denying them a bit, so they're flying across the point here. Almost up on that Uber is Indus. He's going to get it, and he has room for the counter pop as well, and they're going to be able to get KBK. They should be able to. They go for Mela first. Pharaoh's inside of Mela, just taunts inside of Saul, and he's going to go down. He didn't even kill anyone. He just... he knew he was screwed at that point, so he goes down. KBK is down. It's only Shrugger and Badonsky up. They're both still in mid at the moment, but they're going to have to back up, and that's what they do. But Seymour trying to trail behind them. The sticks of Badonsky placed nicely, but good push there from Madmen. They milked that Uber out. They were able to get it, counter pop, and they're going to be able to come back into mid here, and they got KBK in the process, which is big. So now they're going to have that 40% advantage, Marxist, and this could be the opportunity for them as long as they don't lose too many. But eLevate pushing back strongly onto them, onto the second point. Mela getting lots of rockets out into lower here. Indus is taking quite a bit. They're actually down 2 players, one of them being Pharaoh. Not ideal for Madmen right now. They are going to have an advantage. They're probably going to have to use it here in mid, and they do. They're going to send them on through, getting lots of damage out. KBK and Badonsky both go down. Big picks for Madmen here, so Harblu is going to send himself around to window, and he's just going to get himself onto second here. We'll see if Decimate and Shrugger will contest. They're going to go together onto Harblu here. He's got a lot of time on it, and he's got a hell of a storm to work with here. He wasn't even able to get either of them, so just 2 players up for eLevate. But once again, the advantage here for Madmen, and they might be able to squeak this one out. It's going to be close.
Yeah, I was about to say that their previous Uber pop was kind of an unfortunate affair because they probably didn't need to do it, but ultimately the advantage that they bought when they did that came in to save them because eLevate thought that they were a lot softer in the Uber department than it turned out they were.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now they have that Uber. They're going to go ahead and take it in. This is a crucial round here for Madmen to tie things up. They do take out the Sentry, but Alpha is on Pyro once again. They're starting to get the cap time down, but 1 player down from each side. 2 players down from eLevate. 3 down now as the demo man, Pharaoh, is doing lots of work for them. It's just Badonsky and KBK that are left alive, and there it is. Madmen tying it up, and it's going to be 3-3 now. And I think we might get a peek at how much time is left on this one here, possibly, but it can't be too much. 3:20 left in the match, and Madmen ties it up. That's what we're at. 3:20 left here, so we'll see if one more team can finish it off. But man, what a match so far here, Marxist.
Yeah, and like I said it the other night, you'll get to see a lot about the leaders of these teams by how they play now, because Harblu is going for the rat play, so they're actually going pretty aggressively.
As they are doing so, and they're getting the frags to follow it up as well. Blank is going to go down. Only 2 players from eLevate are down and 3 down for Madmen right now. And Harblue is quite hurt. I think, oh, he actually ate an arrow there. He was, or he picked up a pack, excuse me, down and lower. So he's still kind of creeping around in mid at the moment. Luckily here, Indust was able to keep himself alive. So he's going to be able to be even with him on the Ubers, but eLevate's going to be able to come in here, pick up this second point. Most likely, anyway. I mean, we do have Madmen that is kind of creeped up into lobby, but they're not going to be able to stop it, so now they're just going to push themselves on back and hold last. This is a big last defense right here for Madmen, an absolutely crucial last defense for Madmen. It is all tied up 3-3 here, and the Uber is going to get popped out here early from eLevate, so they milked it very long, and we'll see. They weren't really able to get many frags onto it. Blank is able to get one. They actually get 3 out onto eLevate, KBK being one of them, which is a great pick for Madmen. Right now, Alpha's playing sneaky down there and lower. He's going to get taken out as well. So 2 players up, Shrugger and Podonsky for eLevate right now, and they need to get something going here. Madmen, they could potentially win this one out. It's pretty low on time for both of them. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it, but they have a big advantage, 40%, and they're going to push themselves out into mid from lower here. There's a bit of a battle between Shrugger and Umus Mike and Kitchen, and Umus Mike's going to come out, get some heals. They do have Shrugger behind them still, have to be careful. Mela goes down, but KBK gets the crossbow and Harblue, and now they have a back cap going on, so they need to get back to that here and not have something stupid happen to them. They have the whole squad here ready for it, but good distraction play from Shrugger to kind of get them out of mid. But 4 players down from eLevate. KBK getting another crossbow kill there, taking down Umus Mike, but there we have it. They have a big advantage here, Madmen does. 40% still, and that's slowly dwindling down, but they're going to push themselves into second here. eLevate knows that they're in a bit of trouble, so they're going to back off, kind of hold out in lobby here, but Madmen should be able to get this second point and set up. Oh no, the Uber was forced out of them, and they're going to have to get in and maybe try to get something onto KBK, but that's not going to happen. They're inside a lobby right now. They need to be very careful as the push could come back through, and they're just going to go for it. The time must be dwindling, so they're just going to have to go for it. The Uber is popped. They were able to get Alpha, and the sentry gun has gone down, so 1 player down from each side. Harblue has fallen now. 3 players down for Madmen. I don't think they're going to be able to get this one here. We're going to see time run out here very shortly and see some overtime, but the counter push coming back through. 2 players down from eLevate, and 3 players down for them right now. The scouts doing work. It's just Blank kind of had the spawn, and the time has run out, and we are going to see some overtime here. It's all tied up 3-3 going into it, but what a second half there, Marxist, from Madmen to come back in this one.
Yeah, you know, the classic cast of, when Seabear would say, well, we'll see how the momentum changes. It's basically been par for the course here, because each team only has a score in each of the 2 separate halves, so we'll see how that shifts when things go forward. It took Madmen a little while to get going on their stuff, and still I see sometimes things are getting mixed up here, but it looks like they've at least got it kind of together. eLevate needs to rekindle that fire they had on mids, though, because that's where they were winning in the first half.
Yeah, they did, I think, come out on top of that very last mid, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Madmen did win that. I think eLevate got it, but still, the Madmen certainly controlled, as you were saying, the mids there on that second half. So I don't know who's going to take it into overtime. What are you thinking? I mean, both teams are looking pretty strong here. Obviously Madmen looked a lot better in the second half than eLevate did, but, we saw the big momentum shift there at the beginning. Do you have a prediction for overtime, or just a little too close to call it?
Well, we'll see what they decide to do at mid again, because we've already seen what eLevate does when they go into overtime and close, tight situations. And it's that they play kind of passive. They've done it twice. I've watched them do it twice now. And the Madmen, when they came out last time, they looked kind of passive, but it was a lie because Harblue was trying to get behind them. So we'll see if they try and do something similar, where it's they play it a little bit more risky with the, since it'll be the only mid they get to fight. So we'll see. Or maybe eLevate will try and say, you know, they probably watched our demo from the last game. They probably saw what we did there last time. Let's switch it up. And that could determine the game, because these golden cap mids can be make it or break it a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm sure both teams are desperately going to be trying to keep their medics alive for this one. That's going to be certainly a crucial part of it, but I expect to see a pretty long pause here. I mean, we've already been in it here for a couple minutes, but I'm sure both teams don't want to leave anything undiscussed at this point, as this is a pretty crucial time in this matchup. I mean, for the most part, everybody on Madmen, I'm sure they're taking a bit of a break too here just to go to the bathroom and get something to drink, but this is do or die here for both of these teams. eLevate has already, as we saw earlier in the week, they've had this is their second very close game here on this map, and you know, they ended up edging out the first one against Street Hoops, but can Madmen pull what would probably be considered, definitely be considered, I would say, an upset for the most part, or possibly considered an upset here. I mean, Madmen just really having a strong second half here, so it's do or die for these guys here, Blank. It's going to see some good overtime, hopefully.
Yeah. I went and looked at the statistics real quick, since I don't think we're live. I alt-tabbed real quick.
Yeah, we're just kind of hanging around, yeah.
Good. So, your King Fragger, so far, is actually Simu, or Seymour, whichever you prefer to call him. I like to call him Simu, because I secretly believe it irritates him. And, he's got 47 kills, so pretty strong there. The only match is Mela on the other side at 41. Then everybody else pretty much has 30, although Mike has 41. But that's to be expected in Madmen. They have like this whole big thing where they want to try and use the scouts to get kills. And yeah, I don't see too much else coming out, despite the drops that have happened, because we've had 4 drops in total in this game. But neither medic necessarily having a bad game. You're just, you know, sometimes the spy is gonna get you.
Yeah, the bane of the medic's existence, that and snipers, but we haven't really seen too many big snipers plays here in this game. It's pretty much the story of it's been the spies. Who had the? I know Harblue dropped KBK twice, but I know Indus dropped once. Who had did Indus drop twice, or was it KBK with 3? Are you aware of that? I don't know if you still have the stats up or not.
Yeah, KBK has 3 and the Indus has the 1. I don't know exactly what all the causes are.
Yeah.
So, well, because it doesn't, I don't believe ESEA stats tell me that kind of information.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, well, there's med picks, but that doesn't really tell me if it was a drop or not. I can tell you who has the most med picks. It's Alpha and Harblue.
Shocker.
Each tied at 7. So maybe we'll see the spy competition, spy versus spy, come out again and see who can more effectively kill each other's medics.
And speaking of the whole switch up, I mean, Alpha now being on Roamer instead of Scout this season, do you like him better on Roamer or Scout if you were on eLevate and you had the option to put him somewhere?
I think he's doing okay on Roamer. He's minded. When I watched him on Scout last season, it felt like he was kind of playing. They wanted him to play like a Roamer normally would. So, and they kept Mela sort of as an option, playing around what Alpha was doing. So, I don't know. I like him on Roamer. So, I guess that's my answer.
Alright.
But we're actually live.
We're getting in here, guys. This is some golden cap overtime for this week 1 matchup on Snakewater between eLevate and Madmen. Madmen having a fantastic second half against eLevate, going 3-0 on that half after eLevate went 3-0 on them in the first half. So we'll see who can come out on top of this. Both teams are going to be very cautious to make the first move here on this mid, but here comes the bomb out of kitchen from Alpha. Get some damage out on the Indus, and the Scout is there to try and clean up on it. Indus still alive. Oh my goodness, Indus kept himself alive just barely, and eLevate basically wipes there on that mid. KBK back there, and can he get him? He gets the rocket into him. Oh my goodness, here comes Madmen. We could be seeing the upset here on the way, and they are going to have a full Uber to push into this last with. They've got them on the point, getting the cap here, and You Must Mike has worked his way in so far here, but Madmen are looking good here to come out onto it. They have a heavy up. Shrugger is on that. Alpha on Pyro. They need a massive defense here. Alpha's on his way in with that Pyro, trying to deny that Uber. You Must Mike is actually Seymour able to clean up on it, but they're all over on the right side here. Haven't gotten too many frags with it. They get a lot of time onto the point, but not the frags. 2 players down. Alpha and Decimate, and the scouts from Madmen are both down as well, but eLevate wiping out here. Here comes Madmen. They're coming through. KBK still up. Oh my goodness, and Madmen wins it in overtime, taking down eLevate. A wipe on the mid and rolled straight on through to last. Whew! Marxist, man, what a game.
Yeah, that was, they actually both just went normal. They ran normal mids that time, and eLevate did its thing that it did so much in the first half, and they threw all their eggs in on the kill Indus basket, and he kept it going.
Oh man, that was great. I know you got to be happy for your boys there, at least for Pharaoh as well there. That was exciting TF2 to watch. That was a privilege to watch it too, and I think Dashner said something about possibly interviewing Madmen here about this, so I'm not sure if that's still on the table. We're gonna have to see if we can get them in here after that win, but I mean, your thoughts in general on that? It was just, I mean, other than it being a hell of a game, I mean, I don't know if there's too much more to say about it. It was an excellent comeback from Madmen, just all around the board there, and I gotta believe eLevate's pretty irate after that game.
Mm-hmm. It's a hard game to lose. Here, we're gonna try to get an interview maybe, and I'm gonna use the secret info that they gave me earlier, and I'm gonna try and go grab some of them real quick.
Oh, there we go. That's excellent idea. Well, let's see if Dashner or I don't know what we're. We're going to try and get them in here quickly, and we'll be able to talk to some of those guys about that awesome win that they just had there on eLevate. So, just going to wait on that here. Dashner, are you aware of the status of all this? I'm kind of talking to... I think I'm talking to myself here. I think Marxist left. We're getting Harbloon Blank. All right, that's the status on it. We're going to get Harbloon Blank in here for a little interview so you guys can talk to him. I'd love to hear what Blank has to say about this, because me and Marxist and him were just sitting in Mumble talking for hours last night, and Dashner too. We were all just in there talking for hours after the cast last night, and he's pretty excited for this game tonight, and I'm pumped to hear what he has to say about this one. So these guys should be in here any second, guys, and we'll be able to have a bit of a chat with them. But in case you just kind of tuned into the end here and people were yelling at you to say turn on the stream and you missed the boat, you missed the ship setting off here, Madmen has just pulled off a ridiculous game against eLevate in overtime here. Golden Cap overtime.
Hello?
Oh, he's in! Hey man, that was, I mean, a hell of a game. We have Blank in here, and I believe Hard Blue is still coming as well, guys, but Blank, just tell me about that game.
There we go. So I went and I got Blank. And then there will be one other coming?
Question mark? I don't know.
Question mark? Maybe.
We'll see which one we get.
Yeah, I mean...
Madmen roulette.
Blank, man, that was a wicked game. Just tell me, I mean, first off, what you guys were thinking going down 3-0 on that first half. As you were. I mean, eLevate was just winning all the mids, rolling through you guys on those mids. What were you thinking at the end of that first half, going into the second?
Well, going into the second half, personally on the first half, outside of mid, I thought we played a lot of things not too poorly. It was just, in the stalemate situations, we weren't weren't playing him as well as we should have. Like Alpha was getting in nice clean bombs through a window, and I just told Pharaoh rather than shoot donks in the saw room, just shoot stickies because they're broken. And so we cleaned that up on mids. I recognized rather than trying to do anything like proactive, I just took kind of a reactionary role, and I don't know. I think mids we were just like, let's just go in and like do what we do, and it just seemed to work out.
Hey, I think we have You Must Mike in here as well.
Hey guys.
Join the party.
Shoot, Mike.
Rude. I was
I
125 hero this game. Calm down, Blank.
we were just kind of talking about your guys' thoughts after the mid, but you guys had some awesome adjustments, and I want to talk about the spy plays for a minute, because that was such a big part of that game. Harb getting, was it 2 drops? I think it was on
Spy. He got
spy.
a couple kills and 2 drops, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is that just something that, does he generally do that even like your scrims and stuff like that? Were you planning on that, or did you tell him to, or is he just like, screw it, I'm gonna go spy and, go from there?
He'll very rarely do it in scrims, but the spy's a pretty trademark Harblue thing. And he'll always do really well on it, so we're fine with letting him play spy.
Yeah, it's also the fact, I think, if you look at Madmen in the past, we like never played spy. So having someone like Hardblue all of a sudden that goes spy is like, really throws teams for a loop sometimes, and it's definitely a game changer.
Certainly getting 2 drops. Marxist, do you have a couple of things for him, or?
Well, I'll say that at first that the Hardblue change was apparent right away. Like that, it looked a little bit different from what Madmen had done in the past, because I've been on Madmen junior teams for a while because of basic. So I've
The sad zone.
Yeah, I was in the sad zone with him for a while, so I have even made that part of my casting now. So, but yeah. So, what was the big change for y'all between half 1 and half 2? Did you just sort of did you feel the momentum draining out of eLevate during that first halftime?
I actually feel it's more like we were doing well the third half, or the first 3 rounds. Like we were creating a lot of opportunities to get out of last, we just weren't quite doing it. So it was actually pretty even for those 3 rounds, and the second half just kind of went our way, and we got that momentum, and we just kind of kept getting rounds. Our mids got a teensy bit better too, so that helped a lot.
Yeah, their throw multiple things at Indust as soon as anybody jumps across strat was pretty apparent after the first 2-3 rounds. Mm-hmm. They were awfully committed to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you have anything else here for Marxist, but I guess one of the last things, is there anything you guys want to say and get out there? What kind of impact does this have for you guys for the rest of the season? Because, this has got to be just a huge momentum booster for you guys. It's still a long season ahead, but that was a pretty awesome win tonight.
Honestly, that game could have gone either way. We literally went to overtime. All you can really take away from it is that this is just going to be a really close land race between the top teams. Maybe you can still put Froyo a cut above the rest, but it'll be a good season, that's for sure. And eLevate definitely played well. We just happened to take that last round in overtime, so.
There you have it, Marxist. You have anything else for the boys here before we sign off, or?
Yeah. So one final thing. And I'll throw it to Blank, even though I'd like to give Mike the final. A proportion of rocket to shotgun kills. What do you think? What do you think your split was?
For me?
Yeah, you came in last night talking that good trash about how good your shotgun was.
I don't remember him getting any kills. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Shotgun? I don't know. I'll probably say like 50-50 split.
Nah, he doesn't get kills with his shotgun, he just does a lot of damage.
Oh.
And then the people start dodging a bit. That's how shotgun works.
There we go. I had to give that one, give a little humor to the interview. But yeah, so if we can do our shout outs now or whatever, and then just be We done, Gex? Is that the plan?
Yeah. I think we're good from there. Thanks for coming in, guys. That was a pleasure to watch. It was really fun, and it's gonna just about do it for us this evening, guys. Shout out to Dashner for being on camera as always, and Marxist here for casting with me, and shout out to Madmen in general here for an awesome win this evening that you all witnessed. So we're gonna go ahead and sign off here from TF2. We'll see you guys on the next cast here, I'm sure, coming up very soon. Have a good night, everybody.